9:03 on Monday, May 14th, 2018, and I call Clyde County Social Order. We couldn't get anybody to pray today, so the sheriff is going to. So everybody please stand and maintain.
Goodbye, guys. Lord, we just come to you with thanks and for praise, Lord. We give you all the thanks for everything that you've given and provided for us, Lord, and we praise you for that as well. We just ask you to be with these commissioners today and the county officials as they go through their business. May they take your wisdom and your guidance to reach everything we can, Lord. We just ask you to be with each and every one of us as we continue through this week. Ask you to be with all of our military abroad and on the home front as well, keeping us safe. Lord, we just ask all these things in your name.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Sheriff. Before we get started today, I wanted to just make a couple of announcements. We lost 2 former employees last week. One of them was the auditor. Jerry Joy passed away at the age of 77, and also former commissioner last week was Phil Watkins, and he died at the age of 83. Didn't know if I knew that or not. I know many of you even knew them. I'm the old one here, so I know all of them. So anyway, so prayers to their families on that. But on a happy note, we have two people here today that I asked to be here specifically. Laura, and she received an award last year that we already congratulated her on, the Becky Sermon Award, which is the award for going above and beyond to find solutions to some problems. And so, I just want to reiterate that. But she's in this month's County Progress magazine. Big article about her, so if you guys get a chance to read that, that would be great. And just wanted to thank her for representing Potter County the way she does. Thank you, Laura. And then also asked Terry Eastman to be here. He received an award last month for Administrator of the Year Award. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's pretty cool. Is it statewide or nationwide?
Statewide.
Okay, good, because if it's national, I'm gonna sing that little jingle.
I think we need to check that out, make that, you sure about that?
I'm pretty sure he got that, yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
It's hanging on the wall.
So tell me, so this was a statewide deal, and tell me a little bit about it.
Well, it's given annually to the Adult Probation Administrator of the Year. I started work here June 1st, 1978, became the supervisor in 82, director in 2001, and when they gave me the award, I said, I want to thank you for recognizing my meteoric rise to the top of my profession. It's taken me 40 years. So.
Hey, some of us are just slow.
Exactly. I didn't want to peak early.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, anyway, congratulations on that, and thank you. And also, let me just say, Pat, thank you guys for everything that you do on that fire that you're working on still in Armstrong County. We did have a phone call from a guy named Robert from Bishop Hills, who was amazed at how quickly y'all moved on the fire out there the other day, and just wanted to give you kudos for that. So thank you so much. Thank you. So I don't think it's a bad thing to recognize people, y'all. It's a good thing. I think we need that. We'll pat on the back every now and then. Before I forget to, the next meeting will be May 29th on a Tuesday, and we'll be both payroll and Commissioners Court meeting because of the holiday on Monday. Okay? All right, let's get down to business. Number 1 is recognition of minutes, to recognize the minutes from April 23rd, 2018, Potter County Commissioners Court meeting. Any questions or additions or corrections? If not, so recognized. Number 2, vouchers. To consider and act upon the approval of the payment of vouchers processed by the County Auditor's Office for the period of April 18 to May 9, 2018. Check numbers 180-177 through 180-461, and wire transfers 1070 through 1076. With an addition of, what is this?
It's an election payroll.
Election payroll. Okay. Which brings the total to $1,867,025.25. I need a motion.
I move that, we approve of the vouchers, checks and wires with North County Judge. Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor? So, thank you. Insurance report. Okay.
There's nothing unusual on the insurance report this morning, but I do want to bring to your attention, I got an email first thing this morning, from Texas Association of Counties warning us of a notice of high claim paid that will be showing on the next claims run. This single claim will come in at $304,855.08. I don't have any idea at this point what the claim is for. I have, sent an email back asking if this looks like it will be something that will be ongoing, or if it's a single occurrence type claim. I had not heard back when I left this morning.
Okay. Okay, so that's so recognized. Board Arts Program, to consider and act upon participation in the arts program offered by TAC, HEBP for HCA tracking and reporting, and to authorize the county judge to sign an interlocal agreement.
Yes, this is just, the time of year when we decide whether or not we're gonna participate in that, tracking system that TAC provides for the general county at no cost. We also have participated in the past with CSCD, and they reimburse us for all of the tracking on it. It comes in at $4.75 per, 1095C form. I think last year it was, came in just under $300, and I have already visited with Terry Easterly, and he does want to participate for 2018 as well. This, of course, is knowing that we may or may not end up with TAC, in our bid process, that we're involved in now. And so if for some reason we don't end up with TAC at the end of the year for ACA, then we will, move to whatever vendor we move to. But we have until June 1st to let them know if we choose to participate for this year. So I would recommend that we go ahead and, designate participation for the 2018 year for the 1095 process.
Third year we've done this.
Yes, sir. And it is at no cost for the general county. TAC is putting that bill for us, but since CSCD, is not insured through Texas Association of Counties, there is a small fee.
I move that we adopt the arts program.
Second.
A motion and a second, all in favor, raise your hand.
And I will need signatures on those.
Okay, I have this one, is this the one you want?
There's two sets, and I have originals I paid with yet.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Number 5, treasurer's report, to recognize the quarterly investment reports. Good morning.
I think I have some good news. If you look in your report on page 3, I just wanted to point out, you can see the interest rates in our January, February, March, which are continuing to climb. And then, almost middle of the page is our general operating fund. And just the 3 months, I want to point out, January, February, March, we earned $68,902.34 just in our, interest. So that's good. It's a good thing. Okay, and then, you can turn to page 6. Just giving you our totals, as in comparison to last year. page 7, one of the things that I've been talking with you guys about was diversification and that we do want to make some changes, but the market has been stabilizing and some things that I just want to wait a little bit before I diversify any further. And one of the things that I was interested in is the T-bill rate, and so I put this little graph in here to show you. It's still a little volatile, so I'm holding off on that, but we're, keeping an eye on everything and getting some ideas of what we want to do, whether we invest in CDs or what's ahead. And then page 8, this gives you the general fund as far as tax pool. What we've earned January, February, March was $1,300. And page 9 shows you tax pool prime. And January through March, we've earned $56,000 in interest there. And I have a purpose in telling you all of that in just a second. Okay, then go to 19. And this is Texas class earning $15,000 in our general fund there. So totally, guys, just for January, February, March, just your general fund, you've earned $142,741.12. So that's good for our revenue. That's a good thing. The other great news, which really, I should have brought champagne or something, because we're at 2.05%. We have surpassed the 2%, which, since 2007. So that's great, it's exciting, and it's good for us. So that's very good. This morning's rate for tax pool is 1.69, tax pool prime is 2.01, and Texas class is 2.04.
Lynn, thank you for staying up on stuff, and I think she's doing a terrific job for the county, and keep it up. Continue, what can happen. Just saying.
Get fired or something. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
I don't know what he's talking about. Thanks, Leanne. Number 6, formation of crossbar range committee to act on a proposal to form a joint committee in cooperation with the city of Amarillo to assess BLM's efforts to develop, promote, and preserve BLM's crossbar range property as a recreational and educational resource for the public. They came to us over a year ago, March of last year, wanted us to come out there. Did anybody go come out? Did you go up? Well, we're gonna form a committee, and go out there with the city, take a look at it, and then come back and make a recommendation as to what it's gonna do, I guess.
Yeah, it's a piece of BLM land, and it's, I don't know how many acres.
12,000.
12,000 acres, and it's really beautiful, but it's landlocked. And so they'd like to turn it into a recreational area for horseback riders, bicyclists, runners, things like that. No motorized vehicles on it, but other than getting there. And so that is the stumbling block, and they have received from a rancher out there an easement to go through their land, go through his land, and build a road. Now, what they're wanting to do then is to get grants through the state, or not state, but federal highway funds and things like that to build roads. What they'd like to see the county and the cities interested in partnering, I guess, is maintaining that road. So that's what this committee, I guess, will do, is talk about how we can work together and if that's something, then we bring it back to the court and see if that's something we want to do.
What kind of cost to the county, is there gonna be cost involved?
Well, there'll be some cost to maintaining the road, that's for sure, and I don't know how much that would be. I haven't been told to figure. They are doing studies, we don't know how long the road's gonna be for sure, and that sort of thing.
So Bassett, have you looked at it? Have you?
No,
No, sir, I haven't.
Well, you're about to.
I think you're on the way.
So, I'm gonna make a recommendation. The committee consists of Sebastian and, someone from the county attorney's office, just to be sure that we're all, in the loop here. I wanna be on it, one more commissioner. I'm
Commissioner
assuming
Church's
you
office.
can, and someone from the sheriff's office. Because if there's ever any partying out there, I'm sure you guys will have to police it. So, so Sebastian, me, Leon, someone from your office, sure, would that be you or someone else?
Just somebody else.
Okay, somebody else. Okay. Is that satisfactory with you guys?
Yeah, I think we'll go out there.
Okay. We can do this.
This, when I toured the property, it was a year ago, and of course, last spring's a whole lot different than this spring as far as moisture. And it was absolutely beautiful. I thought it was prettier than the out there canyon. But I really think if this happens, it will bring in lots of people to serve. You know, we're limited in this part of the country for those types of recreational areas. You have the canyon.
Can they camp out?
Yeah, there'd be
That will be the,
105 acres, but, the only thing is there's no water. Is there any water?
it's camping.
No, but I mean, is there, there's no stream or anything?
Oh, yeah.
Right. Oh, there is? Okay, good. I didn't know
And it borders on the north, the Canadian River.
that. Okay. So my recommendation would be to appoint Sebastian, County Judge, Commissioner Church, someone from the Sheriff's Office, and Tad Fowler from the County Attorney's Office. It's, 25 miles, 25 miles? I made a motion, okay. There's a motion and a second. Thank you. I want to give this to the city, they'll do the same thing tomorrow afternoon. Okay, number 7, interpreter services to consider for approval a client services agreement with Worldwide Languages for telephonic interpreting services. Is someone here from that organization? There, you want to come up to the podium? How are you today, sir?
I'm good.
If you don't mind giving us your name?
Yeah, my name is Javier Roman,
Okay.
and I own the company that is trying to get this contract with the county.
Okay, did you put it in there, Vicky, is this your agreement? Oh, you did, okay, sorry. Oh, okay. Okay, tell us a little bit about it.
What we do is that in areas where they have diverse populations, and it's difficult to have access to somebody to facilitate the communication among individuals, we have a service that can facilitate that over the phone. So when the county subscribes to that service, an account number is assigned, and then all they have to do, whoever is requesting that service, dials a 1-800 number, and within seconds, less than 20 seconds, somebody's gonna be on the line saying, so I speak Chinese, Burmese, Somali, whatever the language might be, and they can start interacting. And the benefit for the county is that in some cases, it's difficult to find individuals who know all these languages in one particular area. Or it could be that we do have somebody who speaks that language, that person might be related to the person who needs the service. So a cousin might be translating for a cousin, a father for a son, or situations like that. So this is what we avoid by having somebody over the phone, because that person is not necessarily related to the individual who needs to have that kind of communication. So it's something that is immediate and it's available 24 hours a day.
So you have that, I guess, trying to get a handle on it, sort of fixing in my mind about how this is set up. configured where you have a live individual that, can interact with someone regardless of the languages, say, within 20, or so seconds.
Correct. We have, so we have 5,000 people working at different times, 24 hours a day, for any possible language that might be requested. And you have communication with a human operator. And that human operator, as soon as you mention the language, is sending a signal to all the individuals available. And the first one who picks out, he or she is gonna say, my name is so-and-so, I speak the language that is requested, and then you have that communication process.
So Carrie, I'm assuming this would be a huge cost saving for us.
Cost and time saving, they're having very difficult time finding some interpreters, so. this would be very helpful.
In this service, can we use this in court? Or is this, can we use this in court over the phone, or do we have to?
Yes, you can use it in court, particularly if nobody objects, so use it in city court all the time. And, the contract is sort of like an Uber service, as needed, no minimum requirements.
So you don't have to have a live person in court that speaks that other language. We have this service, if no one objects.
Yes, for most hearings, there are a lot of hearings that are trials, obviously, court, it would be rare that someone would object. Because it's a cost savings for them.
And if I may say something, so in some other courts around the country, that is completely acceptable now because of the difficulties to have somebody physically there. Because I may have somebody physically here every time they need some money, for instance, but that's an extra expense because you have to bring that person from somewhere else, pay per diem, transportation, lodging, everything that comes with it. So this service avoids that kind of expenses.
How long have you been in business?
33 years ago.
Is that all?
Only. I was 2 when I started the company.
And where are you based?
Our base is San Antonio,
San Antonio?
yes, but we do work all over the country.
So how would we tie that in? Is it, next thing as far as, use, we have we just pick up the phone, dial the number and that's
Yeah,
it?
one number is assigned, well, not a number, an account is assigned to the requester. That person is gonna have a user ID and a passcode, a word password. And so that person, and that's gonna be a decision of the court, who is gonna be having that access. In that way, the administration report, the process is gonna be easily detected. So whoever is taking care of the invoice is gonna know that on day X, X person requested that service for any number of minutes or whatever time it takes.
I sense that Randall, you'd like to have a few words, anything that you wanna, add or?
What I can tell you about the interpretation stuff is, we've had issues that have affected major cases with one person or one person, and they think they're doing the same dialect and they're not. And got particularly one murder case that we have just had heck with. And we finally found a person in Oklahoma City that could do it, and we've been dealing with him for 15 months on stuff that needed to be redone. So, it's expensive, but it's a necessary something that's gotta happen. And when it gets messed up and it has to get redone again, it tears a bigger hole in the budget. And we are having, there's some dialects we've got covered, we've got folks here in town that can take care of that real easy. But you start talking about Burmese, other places like that, where they've got different dialects from the different mountains that they're living on. And that gets tough, and that particular case involves that type of situation. So, as far as being in the courtroom, that's probably, I mean, now with Skype and that kind of stuff, probably pretty easy to get everybody, if you wanted to be video, lined up in the courtroom and do it that way. But they still like take the oath, you know, the interpreter would have to be sworn in.
You're mentioning Burmese, just in that country, they have Burmese, Chen, Karen, Zomi, and I can go on and on and on with all the different variations of the language. And so you have to, when somebody says, well, I need the language from Burma, which one? You know, we have to be able to detect what is the proper individual for that particular case. And when necessary, we can provide an individual physically, just the way you're doing it with this person from Oklahoma City. We have people all over the country that we can bring in if necessary, when you have to have physically there the individual to assist in the process.
What does this service cost?
The service that we're discussing is $2.60 per minute. But as you heard, there are no minimums, no nothing, no. If the court doesn't request a service in a month, you're not gonna see an invoice from us. They only gonna see something they need to pay when, yeah.
So,
Otherwise, there is no maintenance fee, no, nothing like that.
okay, so I'm assuming then if there's no maintenance fee or anything, you're charging by the minute on the phone.
Correct.
Then you'll also wind up, there'll be a charge for if someone has to travel here.
Well, it's a different process, but I can explain that to you if necessary. Because it's a different process. When you bring somebody in, as I said, it involves, let's say that the case is gonna start at 9 in the morning. That person has to be here the day before to be ready for that case. And that, if that person is coming from Dallas or Houston or somewhere else, obviously we have to find in, get a hotel, get a per diem, everything that is involved with it. And then, in cases like that, it would be, the charge would be per day, a rate per day. So it depends on the situation.
We're doing that, aren't we? We're paying those kinds of fees anyway.
Yeah, right now, if you have somebody in court, yeah, there's no way to avoid those expenses.
You know, a few years ago, I talked to someone at one of our conferences, and very similar. I don't know if it was your company or which company it was now. But anyway, I think it's worth a try, because we are having those problems.
Are the district judges, they're okay with this, correct? Caroline, have you talked to, you know any of them?
Well, I know the one Burmese is in my husband's court, and it messed up, it was wrong dialect.
So I think this would be good.
Do you have any competition in this?
Oh, yeah, there are other companies that provide the same service. We are the only one in our area that has the whole capability to provide American Sign Language interpreters, on-site interpreters, telephonic interpreters, you know, document translation for cases where translation of documents is necessary. Yeah, we can provide all of that, but yes, there are other competitors, but they charge more.
I'm sure they do. Well, thank you for your input there. Well, I think this might be a cost saving for the county, and give it a shot, I think.
And I'll be more than happy to expand into the explanation if necessary.
I'll make a motion that we adopt the interpreter services, at least for a year, and see what happens.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor, raise your right hand. 42 in favor, sir.
Thank you for trusting us. Thank you.
Yes.
Can we go back to the cross-border real quick?
No. Yes.
Would you consider putting somebody from the fire department on there as well?
Oh, absolutely. I don't know why.
And just
Why would I
because
not do
if they're
that?
building roads, they're gonna be responding for fire as well as medical.
Yes, I will amend that to include someone from the fire department in addition to the one.
Pat recommended Richard.
Never miss a meeting.
Never miss a meeting. Okay, thanks for bringing that up. Okay, number 8, budgeted salaries by position to consider for approval, transfer of funds between positions. Mr. Sims. A lot of money you're transferring around. I looked at it again.
It's in all positions.
I know it's in your budget.
Uh,
It's a lot of money.
Well,
Let's hear about it.
2016, we did about 2,600 cases, in 17, we did 2,900, and on the pace we're going right now, we're gonna do 3,500 cases this year. And what's happened is there are, since the budget cycles started, there have been some people that have left and come back, and that's freed up some money for me to distribute across the office. That's what I've done.
So a couple of these you've deducted their salaries.
Pardon me?
Some of these you have reduced their salaries. You have reduced what positions? You look surprised.
Now it's now it's by line item, say there's 40,000 budgeted, and I hire a new person, I'm not gonna pay that person the 40,000. That's where this extra money comes from.
Same thing with the investigator, the $6,000 reduction on the investigator, same thing with that. So they can see it and you hire somebody, you're starting lower.
Right.
Okay.
And you transfer that,
I do that at all of those.
and you transfer that portion that is, that individual coming in on the lower pay scale, and the one that left, who had a higher level throughout the, department.
Well, here's what I've done, is I've waited for some of these new employees to be around for a while. And so some of them are getting, nearly everybody, well, everybody in the office is getting some extra money. Except for one, the only one I didn't do is the domestic violence coordinator, because I can't mess with the budget salary, except for on grant cycle. So, money that was with, what was left with the secretaries, I moved there, around the secretaries, I do investigator stuff and investigator stuff, and I do the attorney stuff and the attorney stuff.
So you left the money within those categories.
Correct. With a little bit of money, like $600, I took out a little bit, left in investigator stuff. Lawyers, lawyers, and people who want money up there.
Okay, but it's all within the budget for that particular year. It's all within the budget.
Let's say like, when Chuck passed away, he was making a lot of money. He'd been in the county over 20 years. I heard somebody at $75,000 to place him. There's 20 grand right there. That's just an example of how that money, it's all in the salary line item.
The issue concerning
It was approved by the position, just so that y'all know how often this is going on, so it's up to the board. I mean, it's a lot of work for the HR department, especially for these $1 amounts, but, we just want to talk about it.
It does make it a little difficult for HR, doesn't it? A little bit, so
It's a lot of manual work.
Makes it more difficult on her and her office. I'll tell you,
One assistant's getting a $7,000 increase.
What?
One assistant is getting a $7,000 increase. That's
Yes,
pretty
ma'am,
good.
because for the past 3 years, I screwed up.
Okay,
And
take back
it
your.
could not get her, could not fund her position like I should have funded it. And that's by far the highest one that I had to get her. If I ask her to do something, she does it. If there's something that needs to be done, she goes and does it without being asked, even if it's not part of her duties.
So,
And I just missed the boat on that.
so hypothetically, just that really, but she resigns next year. And to replace that person, you're gonna bring them in, not at that salary, but at
I'll bring in a lawyer. We're starting lawyers at like 70 to 75, depending on their contractor experiences.
So the portion that, would be errors that, be at that base salary, you're going to utilize as your, what you're doing now, you would use that throughout the department to raise or.
And basically that money, some of that money's set around for 5 months. That haven't been used. So when I get enough, if there's enough there to do something, then I do it. I don't spend it as soon as somebody leaves, like that's $5,000 or $10,000. I don't immediately do something with it. Or what's called that.
Just as a matter of curiosity, how many departments, are doing that now?
I think only had 2 come before since we changed to this process. And I think we spoke to attorney's offices.
Aside from Brian, I've got to do his budget and accounts.
Sure. And not critiquing. this.
Not that I'm bragging.
It's not necessarily a critique on you, Alan, but I'm looking at the department as a whole, the county as a whole. If that is, issue that is, we open the door, setting a precedent for, other departments to do that as well.
They've been doing it for years.
Yeah, that door's been open a while.
And it is the larger departments that do it, because the smaller departments don't have the opportunity to do that, because they don't have the turnover.
So we've been doing it, so it just happened.
Yeah.
My judge.
Okay. Any motions? Somebody?
I promise you they run it, especially the one that knows.
We approve the transfer of funds between positions for the district attorney's office.
And can we possibly make that effective May 23rd, so it's the beginning of the pay period, so there's not as much manual calculation?
Is that good?
That's fine.
You can handle that, Jay.
Okay, have a motion, please.
Julie?
24th, actually.
That's like,
Okay, have a motion and a second, all in favor, raise your hand. 4-0. Thank you, Randall.
Thank you very
Might as well
much.
stay right where you are.
I promise you, my employees appreciate it.
Okay, number 9, iCloud storage data. Potter County Attorney's Office and 47th District Attorney's Office are requesting Potter County Commissioners Court approve the transferring of our office data storage to the iCloud. Conversion cost to make that happen, and an increase in our M&O for the storage cost and take any other action necessary on this issue. Wanna go to iCloud, huh?
Yeah, when we first started with Texas Prosecutor, there was not a CJIS certified cloud. And there are several that have stepped up and done that now, there are about 4 or 5 for sure. Texas Prosecutor is using the Microsoft Azure Government Cloud. That's what the name of it is. And so we would be doing it through Texas Prosecutor and the folks that we're doing business with already. There's gonna be a lot of benefits to it. If you remember, when we first did that, I think it was $50,000. I used asset fortune money to buy the server. And then, we've continually added more data every month. Right now, we're at somewhere around, using the Scott in my office, a terabyte of information a month. And I don't know what those disk costs for a terabyte, but anyway, we're feeling that's about filled up, and we're at the point where we're gonna need to try to get either some more disks or that kind of stuff. And so with this, there's about 10 good reasons why we need to do this. Number one, it's gonna eliminate the use of VMware where you have to log in. You've got a icon on your screen, I don't know how else to say it. Got an icon on your screen, you hit it, you link into that, and then you have to log into that, and then you can do work in the office. But there are things that you can't do even in VMware with TechShare and the system. With it being in the cloud, they're gonna get a login and a password from anywhere that they have access to Wi-Fi, they're gonna be able to get into the system. And that's gonna be one of the huge, great benefits. The other thing is, it's gonna be a reduced cost for us, because you only pay for the space you use. And it also provides what I'll call a tier system in regards to the storage. And so they have active, hot, and cold. The active costs about, let's see, about 2 cents per gigabyte. The hot, 3/10 of a cent, and cold, 2/10 of a cent per gigabyte to store. So it's files that you're not touching much are super cheap. I'll be back to that in a second. Also going to provide that, let's see. They also have got the off-site redundant storage to take care of, so we're not gonna have any problems with any of that kind of stuff. Not two file servers in the same room type thing. And it's gonna allow for both the internal and external users to rely on secure access from any location that there's internet connectivity, which is going to be very important in regards to electronic filing, law enforcement connections to us. What we can do is we can allow all users of it to get into the system that we want. Because then we don't have to go through the Potter County firewall. Because now you're just linking from your computer straight to TechShare Prosecutor in the cloud. So that's another advantage, which biggest advantage out of that is the electronic signatures for when we're doing search warrants, when the judges are signing complaints and that kind of stuff, the warrants on complaints, all of that kind of stuff. All we gotta do is give them login, password, and give them mechanics to do it.
This ties everybody in.
It is gonna bring, most definitely help us with the electronic signature stuff, which will help us tremendously also.
Okay, so you're gonna pay for this yourself, right?
I'll get to the money in a
Okay,
minute, Judge.
okay, all right.
It also allows us to give the judges, special prosecutors, law enforcement, so like the special prosecution unit that does the prison system cases. We can give them a login and a password, and they can see their cases on our system. That makes sense? And they're in Huntsville, Texas. So they're in Huntsville, Texas, they'll be able to see their cases out of our prison system on our system. And that means they can enter the stuff in our system, which means that we don't have to figure out what they did and then have them tell us after the fact and they doesn't discuss it. Just kind of a good example of saving some work time. The law enforcement agencies will be able to do all that also. Also, the electronic signature function I've already talked about. In VMware, like I said, doesn't allow for external users to do certain things and downloading or uploading stuff. And then it will also give our defense portal, it'll give the users of the defense portal, put it in my words, not professional words, it'll give it fastest, faster download and upload time because it's not gonna have to run through so many things to get to the end user. It's gonna go-
Those were your
Gonna go
words.
straight to the,
Those are so untechnical that it had to be your words. That's like.
That's all right. Keep it all the time.
somebody's drying up, Judge.
Going my time.
Okay, so, but, it really is, Scott and I talking about it, and we've got Brandon involved in it, and had a big deal talk with TechShare. And if y'all approve us doing this, then, we're gonna try to make that happen, on Memorial Day weekend. Maybe start that Thursday night and Friday. The TechShare people are already working on the programs, writing script that will help in downloading or uploading all that stuff into the cloud from our storage here. Talk about the expenses. They're estimating about 200 hours of programming time to do all that stuff. And suggested we budget $25,000 for the conversion costs to take place. And then the M&O, the maintenance and operation budget, it's right now, it's $39,985. It would go up $500, which is gonna be for covering the storage costs. So, and I'm assuming we're using the Terabyte about every month, so, that's another, yes, in the sheet. I don't know how much those cost, but $500 for our storage, very cheap. So, in answer to your question, Judge, if y'all agree to do the 25 budgeted, then I'll pay for that out of my asset forfeiture money. And then we're gonna ask the county to take care of the M&O increase.
And that would be,
$500.
The $500.
39.
39.
So Brandon?
He knew his name was gonna
You
get
can't
called.
do it.
So, one of the people I'd like to see it.
How can you miss it? Big guy.
So, what's your thoughts?
Well, right now, they have two setups, so what they're using, they're almost full on. In order to get it on, I mean, those machines are about $50,000. So that's what we originally bought one. So, it's a good idea, I think.
Good process, it cuts down on the time there, it's seamless,
Yes.
process.
Yeah, especially we talk about the people that are outside the county, it'll be much easier for them, they control all the login information for everybody, so everybody gets a login from the county. Trying to set everybody that's outside the county up with some way to get in, but, so,
I like that idea, bring everybody together.
makes it a little easier.
Cloud is kind of a mysterious thing out there, but really there has to be a physical spot.
Yeah, that's just.
And where's it
Yeah.
going? Is it going here in Texas somewhere? We know that.
I don't know where the actual.
Does it go here in Texas? That information is stored here in a facility in Texas? Where is it?
Yeah, where is the
Microsoft
cloud?
Azure,
Microsoft.
couldn't tell you.
Probably not here.
TechShare's in Austin, so I would imagine their server room in Austin's where it goes to.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
Well, these people that can log in and work, they can enter stuff, but they can't remove it. So, is that correct?
We can, there's restrictions that we can put on anybody that's gets access. So there's the divine rights, and then you can tier all that below. So say, for example, you could put you on it, but all you can do is read it. couldn't change anything, do anything else, all you're gonna be able to do is look at it and see what's there. That might be something like this to do with probation or something like that. Or then they can, we could grant them rights then to, add things to our file, but not change anything in the file.
Who's the administrator?
Pardon?
Who's the administrator? Who has the, who is acting as the administrator to give rights to specific entities to do more than just be?
Well, I think he probably could do it. Jason Herring. I actually have those rights, but I'm not. And Haley Hotchkiss are the two people in our office, and then of course we got the folks in tech here can do whatever they want. So they got, but they've dumped that down to the folks here for most of it. And that would be Jason, our first assistant.
So is it 25,000 a one-time charge? I mean, is that a one-time deal? And then
Yeah,
it's
that's
gone?
just for the conversion cost. They're anticipating that could take up to 5 days to get all our data from over here to, there. Floating.
All righty. I move that we approve the Clark County Attorney's Office and the 47th District Attorney's Office. And we approve the transferring our office data, their office data storage to the iCloud. The conversion costs of $25,000 would be paid by, I guess, we don't have the authority over that, do we?
That's it.
Just the
The individual cost would be taken care of by the county.
Second.
Give you a amount on that?
You okay on that, Steph? I have a motion and a second, all in favor, raise your right hand. 4-0. Thank you, Randy.
I'll give you a little report on text here. It's been great. We're adding stuff every quarter, and we're very attentive to our needs. One of the big issues we've got though is with the electronic filing. Tyler's little work kit thing didn't work. Money, it does not work unless it's another Tyler product on the other end. And they can't identify anybody in the country that has it that's using it. Everybody's had to tweak and do something. And they have asked us to get with the folks that are using Tyler products about everything that Tyler needs to do to make it easier for the folks to get onto the email or the electronic filing. You know, tech share screen, my screen, that doesn't matter. The customer start screening, that makes a difference. And so I'll get Nancy or you or both of y'all or something, and I don't have that information with me right now. But, and then, there was a police department got a letter that sent tech share, and there's Axum.com. And that's kind of an evidence program for law enforcement. And it's one of the big departments, and they send a thank you letter to TechShare, the folks working for TechShare, for all they've done, and Axum folks, because those two things tied together. In his letter, they're saying files that would have taken 5 hours to download are done in 30 minutes. So, and, they're having a lot of success with folks being interested here. I know I've got 3 folks that they signed up for by TechShare prosecutor in Texas, and they're Chicago, and for whatever Chicago does, there's 4 counties that around Chicago that does the same thing, whatever Chicago does and stuff. So there's likely to be 5 counties up there that are very, very interested in the TechShare product. And it's just getting better every quarter.
Who else is on tech share? Who else in the county?
From here?
Yeah.
Tarrant County, Dallas County, Midland, us, Austin. 5 counties, Gainesville County, or down south, just southwest of Lubbock. There's 5 counties. The 100 judicial district, 5 counties to the east of us on tech share and in the cloud. We got the down in southwest Lubbock in the cloud, because now there are the certified stuff. And then, there's another 5 county district that Lori English is the DA of, and she's in the process of reviewing the contract for the 5 commissioners' boards and getting signed up to get in here. So, it's, thank y'all very much.
Thank you. Okay, number 10, financial reports. Recognize the comprehensive annual financial report for fiscal year ended September 30, 2017. I brought my book, I thought we'd go page by page. Is that a problem for you? Okay. You got all day.
Hit the highlight of it, on page 16, it does show our fund balance. We started the year with 13,828,697, and we ended with 41,705,088. That is just general fund. So we did increase our fund balance by $1,876.
You're not supposed to tell everybody.
But that's good because we dipped into it
Yeah.
a couple of years ago, so that was good. And if you're interested in the fund balance, those fund balances. And if anyone has any questions on the rest of it.
See you later.
All right, thank you. So number 11, Otter Randall appraisal district board meeting to hear a report on that bad board of directors.
Well, I think a lot of it was, again, just administrative stuff, but there was a few things that I wanted to share. One is that we did work on the budget for this coming year. And there is about a $400,000 increase in their budget, and that's basically due to their buying new computer equipment and software program. The software programs that they're using is a 2001 program. They just think they're so far behind on the capabilities that they could have. But the system overall costs around $1 million. What they have done in their budget in the past is put aside every year into a depreciation account. And so they're able to pay most of this through the depreciation funds. But what they want to do is pay that back to the depreciation fund over a 5-year period. So they are, they've added $130,000 there for that, and there's another $130,000. And that's what the majority for the software program. So that's what the majority of the $400,000 increase. What that means to Potter County is about a $45,000 increase in our allotment to them next year. This is a proposed budget. There will be a public hearing on this, and I don't know who gets that proposed budget. Do you get it, and the judge? Okay, you're supposed to be getting that, and then there'll be a public hearing on May 30th at 8:30 over at their office. So if you have questions or want to come,
I believe we are meeting with Helen tomorrow.
okay. The third thing I wanted to talk about, and it's interesting to me is, because I didn't know about this road, and I don't know how many people do, but the comptroller's office, by virtue of authority granted to them by the state legislature, looks over all the property values, and they use school districts to do this. And they study these values and see what the local appraisal district is doing, and if it's not up to what the comptroller's told that they need to have these levels, then they put these districts in, I don't know, kind of a penalty phase. So they have a chance to come back and dispute what the state's saying that these values should be. We had there's three school districts that were out of compliance, and they were Happy, Bushland, and Highland Park. Happy's, they have gotten theirs taken care of, they're in compliance. Bushland and Highland Park are still debating with the state on what those levels should be. And I think you've all heard about the Robin Fund, but this is how a lot of these, the state this is how the state uses the Robin Hood money to balance what they pay the school districts. And then they say, you know, and what they've done is taken money from the richer districts to give to the lower valued districts. So anyway, it's really a funny way to fund schools, and I hope that there'll be some work on that. But anyway, there's another thing that was reported. To date, we've had 600 protests filed on the valuations that have been sent out. So he's estimating they'll have about 2,700 protests to hear this year, which is great because last year they had 4,200. And so anyway, I'm learning a lot. Some of it's not as exciting as things I didn't want to know.
How they value the criteria of who's in compliance and who's not? What are you looking at? What are
Where they take Highland Park, for instance, they have a lot of industrial properties, and how they evaluate those properties. They bring in a consultant to help them, but the state may disagree that you value this commercial property, say a Sarco, for example, that they're valued too low. And of course, Sarco is going to fight that too. So it's really interesting to see how the state really tells people, these local appraisal districts, what they have to, how they have to value these properties. Something I wasn't aware of. I thought there was more local control.
Thank you, Commissioner. Number 12, Potter County Extension Office, to hear an update on the Extension Office. Sorry I made you wait all this
No,
time.
that's fine. I've gotten off to a really good start. Since I've been here in December, lots of things accomplished here in Potter 4-H. Beginning in the spring, of course, we had all of our major stock shows with a total of 78 Potter County 4-H kids that participated in major shows. Fort Worth, San Antonio, San Angelo, Houston, and Austin. Of this, 39 steers, 175 hogs, and 32 lambs and goats were raised by Potter County 4-H kids. And approximately 25 of those kids brought back $35,000 in sales from those major shows. Also, that includes our county stock show in January. Some other things that have been going on, of course, we had our district roundup, which is kind of like a contest for these projects for these kids. And our fashion show, we had 6 participants. 2 of them are going to state. Our Dust to Dazzle team, which is also part of the fashion show, we have 3 teams. 1 of them is going to state. Educational presentations, we have 2 going to state. One was in horse production and one was in, human sex trafficking. Share the Fun, which is kind of like our talent. We had some piano kids, horse judging, livestock judging, had 13 participants, and our senior team is also going to state. And 2 of our rifle teams are going to state as well, for a total of 25 kids that I'm bringing to College Station in June, which is a lot, a lot. We've had 1 opportunity scholarship, which is the major scholarships that Texas 4-H offers. We have 1 participant getting one for $3,000, and then we had some livestock kids get some state fair Texas scholarships in total of $5,000. Also, we had our Randall, our Powder Randall County Ag Fair. We had 425 kids come from 6 ISD schools, and they learned beef production, better living for Texas, health, cotton, dairy, and then Excel Energy comes out for that. So we had 425 kids. We reduced it from 2 days to 1 because of the STAR testing. We kind of had some schools that it was easier to do it in 1 day, so we did all of them in 1 day. Lots of kids out at the fairgrounds for that. Some of the other school programs that I have been conducting, I had some after-school program going on for 12 weeks. I did 4-H promotion, a team building activity. I also did a My Plate trail mix, health and nutrition like program with them, and then engineering was another one that we did with them. And we saw 350 kids in 12 weeks at Avondale, Belmar, Carver, Humphrey, Highland, Oakdale, Olson Park, and the Woodlands. That's still going on this week and next week. So, yep, I had that going on. And then of course we had our Egg to Chick, which we see over 500 kids starting in January with that. Our first hatching. And Egg to Chick is we give them 4 eggs. They put them in an incubator and they raise that egg for 21 days and then it hatches in their classroom. And then we have all these chicks in our office that we have to get rid of. So our January, February hatching, we did the Holton School group, Oakdale, Forestdale, Avondale, Lee, and Emerson. Our February, March group, we had Bevins, Mesa Verde, San Jacinto, Paramount Terrace, Windsor, Rolling Hills, Woodlands, and Glenwood, and Highland Park. And then in our April hatching, we had 6 classrooms just at East Ridge. Will Rogers, San Jacinto had 2 more classrooms, Forest Hill had 3 classrooms, Glenwood, First Prince, and Belmar for a total of over 500 kids in my office. So we're definitely hitting a lot of those schools in Potter County, AMSC. And then this Thursday, I'll be at Lamar Elementary, doing Egg to Chick. We're doing like 8, they're doing a science day and there's 8 different sessions. So we didn't have any chicks left, so I had to order chicks, and now I have 22 chicks in my kitchen right now. Raising these chicks for Thursday's science day at Lamar Elementary, and I'll be doing that there. And then I have my summer camps that I have already planned and scheduled. I'm doing a clothing camp and a food nutrition camp at Maverick Boys and Girls Club for a whole week. I'll be there for 4 hours a day doing that with them. And then I'm also doing a Kids in the Kitchen and a clothing camp for my 4-Hers at my office this summer, as well as a quilting. I have some ladies that want to help me with the quilting camp. And so that's what's going on in my world.
Doesn't sound like you're doing anything.
Yeah, I know. I'm all over the place. That's all.
Right.
Thank you very much.
You're not gonna quit, are you?
Quit? No, I'm in the middle of trying to build a house. I'm not going anywhere.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
There was something that jumped out at me, and please don't hold this against me. It may be an anomaly here, but I thought I heard you say something about sex trafficking.
Human sex.
Human sex trafficking.
Yes, last year I had 3 senior girls do a educational, I wasn't here, but it was an educational presentation that they did on texting while driving, and they won the state contest. They went and they won it here at the district, and they went to the state and won it there. Well, the same girls wanted to do it again on another topic, and they thought about the wildfires around here and how to help with that. But there were so many kids doing that, and there's a high statistics here in Amarillo in human sex trafficking, and it affected them a lot being seniors. And Snapchat and all these different ways that these predators, they actually call them pimps, can come to our children and, get our kids. And they did a lot of research on it, and they put that together and going to the state contest, try to win it again, we're doing sex trafficking. Yep. It's a, 4-H has different educational presentation categories, and one of them is, safety and injury prevention, and it's under that category. Thank you very much.
Number 13, agreement for access to first responder network authority. To consider for approval an agreement with AT&T for access to the U.S. Department of Commerce First Responder Network Authority, known as FirstNet, involving no expenditure of county funds.
This is a system that the FCC and the Fed set up so that, like with our computers in our trucks, we can get access to the internet systems and have preemption, which means if it's, the system's busy, that we take over from somebody else, so that we get first choice on what's going on. We're talking to them about those. It's a separate deal from this, completely separate from this. This allows our members to go to AT&T and sign up with AT&T at what is actually good rates and get the same services. And what we're agreeing to do is maintain the database that says who is members on our department, and when somebody quits our department, we'll take them off of it, and then they have, I think it's 30 days to get with AT&T and get a different plan set up.
What do you mean by take over from somebody else?
If every channel is being used on the phone system, I believe that's actually gonna be where now, if you can try to get in, it'll kind of put you in line. And with this, we'll go to the front of the line. Nobody's described it as ruthless preemption, which ruthless means we would knock somebody off the air to get to make a phone call. And I don't think it's that. I think we'll be next to the line. We'll go to the front of the line every time we make a call.
Isn't FirstNet a different frequency than the cell phones?
Right now, they're using AT&T's network. The original discussions about this is that they were gonna build out a separate network to do this. And, to get it started, they just put it on AT&T for now. Main thing we get out of it is it's a feature to offer our volunteers and our pay guys. I haven't actually gotten to look at it. The rates look good, we can look at them, but I don't know how it affects. Because like for me, I have 3 phones on mine, and only my phone will be affected by this, not the others, I think.
Only your phone
Out of the three that are on my bill,
okay.
I'm assuming that only my phone is gonna be affected. And we'll be down to the actual details of what the money does. I talked to various people, various of our members, and some of them think this might really be a huge savings for them. So it's worth checking, it's not gonna cost the county anything, little work to put in. I think it's I have a copy for you, so. That's fine.
I move to approve the agreement with AT&T for access to the U.S. Department of Commerce First Responder Network Authority, known as FirstNet, involving no expenditure of county funds.
Motion and a second, all in favor, raise your hand. 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you. Also, the judge in Armstrong County said to tell you hello after we ran the fire across his house.
I know. Right to his front door, and thank you for doing that, because he was gonna come and stay at my house.
Yeah, same.
Okay, number 14, JP3 wireless radio tower. Consider and replace failing wireless radios and tower internet service to JP3 office funds to be determined. Jackson and Brandon, who's coming us here? Just Brandon and Katie. I'm just here for historical information.
So what we have, JP3, they have a tower, the radios, there's something wrong with them, they're not working. So right now, they're running on a T1. It is very, very slow. It is only technically, but a secondary kind of an option, but it isn't something that we want to run them on for very long. But, what we have discussed is actually putting in a new tower for them. Right now, the tower that they have is like, I think, a 30-foot tower. They have between us and them, there's like a billboard that's right outside of their property. There's a building in the way. So the signal that gets broadcast from them to us and back is kind of, it's blocked quite a bit. So it gets through, it's just not very optimized, speeds. It's all over the place. So they're up and down normally anyway. So, what we've discussed is putting in an 80-foot tower for that, that would get over all of that stuff, and some new radio. One, like I said, the one that we have now is not working at all. Some problem. So, I lost my train of thought. The new tower is gonna go where the old one is. They'll take the old one down, put in new equipment. They will also have the option that if anything obstruction-wise is put in the way, they'll have the option to point it back towards the fire station 3 as well, which will, yeah, just kind of turn it. I don't imagine that's how they actually do it. It's the ranch and just get it in the right spot, but, so it's an option that they can use in the future if anything actually comes up again. So as far as that goes, it should be better speeds for them. The company that we'll be using to do this is Comtech. They've done a lot of our radio equipment.
What does this tower cost?
The cost on the new one is just about $34,000.
And where's that money come from?
We discussed some of that about, I think the judge had said something about using some of your.
I mean, we can use some of it, don't carry back to fair replacement also.
Because the radios were damaged.
How much do we have in that account here?
I hope you may, go into that.
Last year about this time, we already used all of it. We had pictures somewhere.
Yeah, knock on wood.
So the time.
So 36,000 is a total cost.
It is 30, almost 34,000. But that's a total for everything.
That's taking the current one down and
Take the current one down, put a new one up in place, in between, because they're gonna have to order the tower and that, in between, they will actually put the new radios on what is there currently and get them back up and going, so they're, so that's all, taking 20 minutes opening, you know,
That's all included.
but all that is included in that.
Judge, how long have y'all had this problem then?
Well, we've had the tower 3 years. It's been off and on since it started, just because the original company that did it, their site survey really, I don't know how they got their certain site survey on it. The billboard we're talking about is a quarter of a mile from our office. And they're the same, it's not the same house, so we've never got true signal.
Was that billboard up at the time of,
That's the check dot with on the side of the road, and it's been there for 10 or 12 years.
It was, yeah.
you can't bulldoze that down?
I mean, I think we can, but I don't know if they're
You
gonna.
get road and bridge to accidentally back into it. Oh, yeah.
Judge, how much do you have in your?
Well, I paid for the tower last time, which was 19,000. I told Brandon that it's carried it with value, willing to pay for half of it. So, it's gonna go.
Well, obviously you need it. I mean, you can't continue.
Oh, no, our stager. It took me 20 minutes to open an email the other day and print it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Smoke signals get good.
I couldn't come into town.
Why did tell?
Why do you think we have fires right now?
Oh, that's right.
Just give me a blank. I'll budget for it.
So Sheriff, we're looking at,
$17,000.
so we're looking at
17.
So Gary, where'd you use money from? No, you're 17, where'd you taking that out of?
I think on,
Okay, okay. Can you be okay with that?
if Terry will pay it. That's all. Depending.
Well, I move to approve Tara, the judge paying $17,000 and the rest of the supported by the county.
I second.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor, raise your hand, 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 15, request to vacate. To consider for approval a request to vacate undeveloped portions of certain county rights of way designated as such in the original 1908 plat to the town site of Cushing. Mr. Fowler.
Basically, unused roadway and alleyway that wouldn't generate a lot of taxes. It's part of the original plat of 8th Street, most of which is already, maybe all of which is otherwise already vacated. The two property owners that have joined are both provided written confirmation that they joined in the request. It's a third of an acre.
So what does this, what is this for the county?
It's more property than Richmond that was originally platted that owns a lot of yards in that county. Because the county's never developed it.
We don't take care of it.
Don't take the road. The order to vacate will be picked up by the appraising district. Property will be, for the appraising district will be with these adjoining owners, and that's how they will portion the tax.
And they take over.
Right. They take over.
So the county just says, oh. I move to, approve the request to vacate other portions of certain county rights of way that is such as the original 1908 plat for the town site of Cushing.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor, raise your right hand. Thank you so much. Number 16, policies and procedures regarding paid holidays. To discuss and act upon a request from Road Bridge to amend Potter County's policies and procedures as indicated in our policy below. Sebastian, how are you doing?
That's basically what it is. The deal is, we've been probably doing 10 hours for 20 years, since 98. And, we've always given up 2 hours for each holiday that we've taken off. And, I've got a lot of new guys and I'm trying to get their time built up because we have 11 paid holidays a year. So we're giving up 22 hours a year just to take the holiday off. And we're trying to get those guys that don't have that much time to keep their time. And the sick leave, it states if you work whatever amount of hours you work in a day, that's how much sick time you accumulate. So I was just trying to get the paid holiday to coincide with that.
Let me get it clear, for as many hours you work per day, it
More
equals to an hour of the same equated to a sick time.
per month. So we work 10-hour work days,
Right.
we should accumulate 10 hours of sick time. And I wanted to get the holiday pay, because the holiday pay says you get 8 hours of paid holiday.
Is that the same for everybody?
Yeah.
Come on in there.
It was my understanding, now, the 10-hour days were adopted prior to my coming on board, so this predates me. However, it was my understanding and explained to me initially when I came aboard that the understanding that was made at the time that the 10-hour days were approved was that those days accumulation for sick leave, vacation, incentive leave, all of those things in the policy and procedure manual that were laid out as days in accrual rate were based on an 8-hour full-time workday. And that's how we accrue time now, is based on an 8-hour workday. And this, we do the same on holidays. We provide an 8-hour holiday, and then the extra 2 hours are used in vacation, comp time, incentive leave, that kind of leave.
So, the extra 2 hours that you guys are doing, 10 hours per day, 4 days. You're requesting that, they be equated per sick time. So you get 40 hours per week, which is 160 hours per month.
I'm just requesting that the paid holiday is 10 hours instead of 8 hours. So that we don't have to give up 2 hours or 4 hours for Christmas and Thanksgiving, we're giving up 4 hours. Like that, our budget doesn't change, it's 40 hours a week. We don't take any extra money out of anywhere, it's always the same. It never changes, it's just 2 hours. Instead of giving them 2 hours, we're just gonna get those 2 hours. That's the paid holiday.
What happens when the holiday's on Friday, and you've already worked your 40 hours?
We,
48 hours? Okay.
So how does that work?
On that Friday, if it's Thursday and Friday, we work the 3 days, then, the holidays are, we're off on Friday, so it'd be, 8 hours comp time.
Okay, so you wouldn't get it.
We're entitled to that holiday.
Okay, you have any problem with this?
I can't recommend going to the 10-hour holidays because in my opinion, the four-day work week, 10-hour work days are still 40-hour employees. A 5-day, 8-hour week is an 8-hour employee. HR also does 10-hour work days, 4 days a week, and we compensate for 2 hours of benefit time on a holiday that falls there. And the reason that I can't is because the way I see it, it's a 40-hour work week employee and a 40-hour work week employee. And changing to a 10-hour holiday would be granting 2 additional hours of benefit time to certain employees.
I don't see how that's a benefit if it's 40 hours a week regardless. We're not gaining any extra time, it's 40 hours. 40 hours is 40 hours, regardless if you work, a nurse's shift or what have you. That's how I.
Anybody else do the 3 and 4 days?
We have 10-hour work days are done by auto theft, which there are 3 in there. There's 4 in HR, 22 in road and bridge. We have 15 district clerks, or actually 17 district clerks that work 9-hour shifts. I mean, we have some varied shifts throughout the county. We also have, the DA has 9 employees that work 7.5-hour shifts. So we have some varied shifts throughout the county, but all benefit time is based on an 8-hour full-time day. And that's just the way it's been set up, and it was my understanding that it would remain that way with the 10-hour work days as well.
So how do you make up for the other 2 hours that it is?
For holidays,
Yeah, in your office?
in our office, we use vacation, comp time, incentive leave, but it's paid benefit time. We get 8 hours holiday and then 2 hours of whatever other paid
So
time.
it's at the discretion of the employee, whether they in vacation, or comp time.
It's whatever they have available, yes.
If the week before they got paid for 40 hours, say the holiday's Monday, so they get 8 hours plus their 30, they get paid 38 hours after.
And we have to give up 2 hours.
That's what his point is.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
So
they have to give up.
so they've lost 2 hours.
And like I said, I have my aren't you guys? that don't
They,
have-
they've also worked 2 hours less.
They work 2 hours left.
Well, on Christmas, we work 30 hours that weekend, and the rest of the departments work 24. So I think it balances out. And for me, I'm on salary, so when they take 2 hours of my vacation time, I'm left with 8 hours. And I can't take that time because if I take off for a doctor's appointment, it doesn't charge me anyway because I'm on salary. So I'm given, at the end of the year, I have all this vacation time and I really can't take it if it's an odd number. If it's not 10 hours, I really can't take it, I just get it back.
You can't take it.
Well, if I take off a half a day, I mean, she could take it out of my vacation time, but technically on salary, so it doesn't charge me. If I'm here any part of the day.
Trying to get this on my head.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I have a question, okay? And for Sebastian. If New Year's Day or 4th of July, what is your work schedule? What is your 4 day work schedule?
From 7 to 5:30, Monday to Thursday.
So if New Year's Day or 4th of July falls on a Friday, that would be a day that you wouldn't ordinarily be scheduled to work. And the way this is drafted, you would not get paid for that holiday if it doesn't fall on the day that you are scheduled to work.
We get
That creates a problem for you all. And I don't know how to fix.
We don't get paid for it, but we get comp time for it because we're entitled to a holiday, paid off holiday. So we'll get paid that 40 hours Monday through Thursday, it's on Friday, we'll get 8 hours of comp time, and then we can take it off on another day.
Some companies, in that sense, take the day before, because the holiday falls on
We've done
that
that.
Friday, and so you're off that Thursday, which is your holiday.
Yeah, we've done that.
So how does that work? Or is that something that
Easy paid, so right now, we paid it.
Well, if it falls on Friday, we took off Thursday, and we still gotta give it 2 hours. For the-
So the
to
issue
get
is
40
the 2 hours.
Yeah, it's just the 2 hours that I'm talking about. Regardless of what day it falls on, no matter how you look at it, it's 2 hours that we're having to give up for every holiday. And we're not taking any different on our salary pay as far as salary or budget or anything like that.
Patty, how does that affect your office? You're talking about 10
Well,
hours.
we rotate days of the week off. We're open 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, so we essentially have the same Monday through Friday holiday, our work schedule that everyone else has. We work 10-hour days, and we just rotate. Each person has a different day in the middle of the week off, to compensate for that, the 10-hour workday.
What's your, is there a time sensitive, we're at to make that decision now? You don't
We just got a holiday coming. Well, we've got a holiday at the end of the month.
At the end of the month coming up.
We've been trying to settle this for a while. It's just been taking, I didn't think it was gonna be that much of an issue.
It's just 2 hours.
29th. Next time we meet is 29th, the day after.
Okay, how do you make this work for him, and his people? How can we make that work?
In my opinion, the holiday is a number of hours of paid time, and as I stated before, there's still 40-hour employees that are granted a number of hours for holiday. In my opinion, to remain consistent across the board, my recommendation would be to keep an 8-hour holiday. That way, all 40-hour full-time employees get 8 hours of holiday pay for holiday. But, that is for the court to decide.
Do department heads have the ability to grant 2 hours of special leave.
Administratively, they did, we have,
So rather than,
for an administrative closing,
so they could do that.
they could do that.
Is that, yeah, I like the time, but it's time sensitive. So what you're saying is possibly leaving up the option of the department head to make that decision, put it at 2 hours as administrative leave or
That's how
Could
it's
you do
done.
that be satisfactory?
how would that work? Okay.
It would just be an administrative closing and they would get the 2 hour, additional 2 hours.
Is that,
I think that opens the door for every other department.
well, that's what I was
To
asking.
give their employees an extra 22 hours a year. Administratively also.
Sebastian?
Would it give everybody there?
It would be to keep them at the same
Level.
level.
If you increase this to 10 hours, would that give them 22 hours more a year
And the rest of it.
than anybody else?
We're talking about normal work hours. If they're working normal 8 hours, and they're gonna get 8 hours, and working 10 hours, we're gonna get 10 hours. That's what we're
But you're
at.
still working
You're still
40 hours a
40,
week.
yeah.
And that's my point, it's still a 40-hour-a-week employee versus a 40-hour-a-week employee. And I'm in the same boat Sebastian's in. My folks are in the same boat his folks are in. But in my opinion, I just can't justify giving two additional hours of vacation for every holiday, 22 hours a year, more holiday pay for a group of 40-hour employees more than you give the rest of the 40-hour employees.
So are your employees good with what they have right now? Are they okay with it, the policy?
Yes, and it's my understanding that was part of the agreement in allowing the optional 4-day work week, 10-hour work days for these employees when it was approved by Commissioners Court in the beginning. And I mean, that's how it was explained to me when I first came on board, that it was part of that agreement.
Okay, I'm still confused on Fridays. If the holiday's Friday, and we work, Road and Bridge works Monday through Thursday, 10 hours a day. So on Friday, there's a holiday. Do the Road and Bridge get paid those 8 hours?
They are getting comp time for that 8 hours.
Those are comp hours, they're not actually getting paid the dollar.
It's 8 hours, not 10.
And it's,
And
it's very seldom that happens.
Everyone else gets paid the dollar for the holiday. But you and your office.
No, my office works 5-day work weeks. I mean, we work
Our office is open.
We're open 5 days, but we have, my employees, with the exception of one, all work 4 10-hour days. But I have one employee that's off on Tuesdays, one employee that's off on Wednesdays.
You have coverage for
I have the
week.
entire week,
Employees work 4 days.
right, and if the holiday falls on their days off, they get, 8 hours for the holiday.
Hey,
Hey, yeah.
and I think that's what Sebastian said, give us the pay also versus the contract, is that correct?
Well, no,
No,
I'm just saying that
giving 10 hours.
on the days.
10 hours of, 10 hours of pay or just 10 hours of
No, I'm
vacation?
talking about the 2 hours that we're having to fill in the gap on those days that we're off. Like on Christmas and Thanksgiving, those Thursday and Friday, we're giving up 2 hours to make our 40 hours, or 4 hours on those days. And I'm just asking that it just be amended to make 2 extra hours so that we don't have to give up that vacation time.
We're gonna is that under, what committee is that? Is that under salary?
It's just policy.
Policy.
Yeah. No committees, it's just all under the jurisdiction of the county.
But also when it falls on a Friday, we're not asking to get paid for that, get extra money, we're just asking to get the 2 extra hours, so we can take the full day off whenever we want. That's what I was getting at. If it falls on a Friday, we're getting 8 hours of comp time, we want 10 hours of comp time, that way we can take a full day off during the week. If we took off, it's
Full day of.
yeah, a full day of comp time, right, or what have you.
And it is troubling, because for a 5-day-a-week employee, you work 32 hours, you get paid for 40. For a 4-day-a-week employee, you work 30 hours, you get paid for 38. The difference is 8 hours.
But our pay would change.
But, I mean, there's two, it's more complicated. I think it probably does need to be discussed and talked through. I kind of threw this together because I didn't have time to really think it through, but as I was provided here, my concern is the way this is written in the document. For 4th of July, that falls on a Friday, it's not a day the regularly scheduled work, so they wouldn't get them at all, and that's a problem. Now, Sebastian can articulate excellent reasons for the 4-day work week. They travel a long way to get out to the job. It's better to do that travel.
That's the new thing, like, it would be my recommendation that, you end up going to another holiday, maybe being shorted, but give us some time to discuss this, see where we are, and, if we can interface with the county attorney's office and with HR.
So we probably need Scott on this.
But that's what I would do.
Okay, all right, so we'll just
And,
pass it.
the 2 members of the court to be on that. Judge.
Okay, we'll pass that here to the big back to the next question. Thanks, Kathy. All right, employment items, to consider and act on the following employment items, road and bridge department, employment of Chancellor Nunn, summer mower, effective April 30. Employment of Victor Aro, summer mower, effective April 30. Employment of Carly Jean Gaston, summer mower, effective April 30. Employment of Wesley Kringle, summer mower, effective April 30, 2018. Also, the maintenance, and facilities, the employment of Joseph Ship, and Nick, his last name is misspelled, it's just S-H-I-P-P. Okay? As groundskeeper 1, as a replacement for Jennifer Mahana, effective May 16, and the employment of Renee Lystra as mechanic technician 1, effective May 16. Motion on this.
We approve the employment items as presented.
Second.
Motion, and second, all in favor, raise your hand. 4-0, thank you very much. Number 18, Potter County projects. Is that what you're doing there?
They told me last night, told me, if y'all had questions, if you have any questions. I don't know, what do you think you want to have tonight? I don't really have any, thing to talk about reports, or had some concrete reports of district reports this weekend.
Oh, I noticed that.
That approach is falling apart from the north side where they agree. There's a water line right there, so we got that fixed, they can drive on it today. I don't have any projects.
Or how's the deconstruction of the sheriff's station, is that, what's the deconstruction of the sheriff's admin?
I think it's going okay.
Is it going okay?
The
It's not going
abatement-
anywhere, actually. It's just-
The abatement team is over there,
Oh, okay.
and,
Okay, good.
Yes, that's correct.
The abatement team.
We'll be bringing next report, the demolitions and the landscape.
When's the auction on that?
The auction started today online. We should be out of that building hopefully, by the end of May or first part of June.
we also have, I guess, painters that are painting the 11th and 12th floor of Chattanooga
How is the sheriff's admin doing, Sheriff, as far as all the furniture and the things that do you have pretty much, all that, you need out there? All the social hours out there?
That's a sore subject.
Save that tonight.
Inside the building, we're good, getting all the furniture and all that kind of stuff. We're still, having issues with the building itself.
Windows.
Windows mainly.
Yeah.
I understand they failed again, so I don't know what they're gonna do. I haven't been looking, so I'm not sure what, but I just know that they failed again.
Mike Logan.
Hopefully.
You got it all written down.
Yeah. Okay, number 19, jail report. We have 588 people in our jail, 95 of those are female, none of them children. 82% are felons, 12% are misdemeanors. Do we have any package for that? Executive session, none this time, agenda items for next time. Just that one thing we're gonna go back. Anything else? Okay, if there's nothing else, we are adjourned. Thank you very much.